10 Relationship Goals to Strengthen Your Love. Any relationship, no matter how strong it is, needs nurturing, reminds licensed clinical social worker Diana Gasparoni. You need a plan to keep your relationship alive, so it goes the distance, she shares. You want to recommit to loving that person all the time so the relationship doesn't become numb. One of the best ways to do that is to have relationship goals. They can cover any topic you care about as a couple. Maybe you want to have sex more often or spice things up in the bedroom. Maybe you want to save enough money to move into a dream home or go on an exotic vacation once a year. If you are in a committed relationship, you can set goals at any stage. Whether you've been together for 3 months or 10 years. Take time to brainstorm individually and as a couple about what you want and then write down your goals. Make sure to update them as your relationship progresses. It's also important to make time to check in with one another about how you are doing in achieving your objectives. I have this one patient right now who has a dinner once a month as a check-in, shares Gasparoni. They talk about where they both are in their personal growth and well-being and how they are feeling about one another. Are their needs getting met? How do they feel? As a result, there isn't a lot of tension in their relationship, and they don't just talk about the bad stuff. They also talk about the positive growth they've made. To help you get started on your relationship goals, we've created a list of different types of goals to consider. See which ones resonate with you and get started drafting your own list. You'll be well on your way to having the relationship and life you want. Emotional goals. Emotional goals are how to be close and keep the relationship alive, explains Gasparoni. Relationships start with sparks, but then the day-to-day of life takes over, and you have to remember to keep the spark alive. That takes conversations with your partner. Here are a few examples of emotional goals you can set. Find a way to connect every day. Even on your busiest days, find a time to really connect with one another. That can mean spending 5 minutes to talk over dinner about the highs and lows of your day, or sending a text once a day asking how the person is feeling. At the end of every day, ask yourselves if we had some type of connection a day where we learned about what was going on in the mind of the other person. Learn something new about each other each week. If you've been together for years, you may think you know everything there is to know about your partner. But people are deep and complicated, and there are always surprises and new things to learn. Every week find a way to learn something new. You can buy a set of questions or draft them yourselves. You can even ask Amazon's Alexa if she has a question for you both to answer like trivia, suggests Gasparoni. Schedule regular check-ins that you don't miss. Schedule time to really check in with each other emotionally. This can be a monthly dinner or a vacation once a year. Come to this event prepared to tell each other all the good and bad feelings you've been having. You can either sort through your list of grievances and also share the positive things that are happening between the two of you. This way, nothing will get swept under the rug and you can keep renewing your spark. Sex goals. Sex is a tricky subject for many couples, admits Gasparoni. It's easy to think every other couple is having sex all the time, but that's not true. The only goal is for both partners to feel sexually satisfied and that you talk about it. Here are some sex-related goals you can make with your partner. Have sex a certain number of times each week. Everyone has different sex drives, and for some individuals, it's important for them to have regular, constant sex. Discuss as a couple how much sex feels good. Some couples will go a lifetime and have sex 2 or 3 times a week, and other couples will have sex every 3 months, she shares. It's all okay. What matters is how much sex is really good for both people. Come up with a number and stick to it even if you are tired or busy. Hold one another accountable. Experiment with sex. Other couples get into sexual ruts, having the same type of sex all the time. If you want to spice things up, make it a goal as a couple. You can even designate one day a week, maybe Wednesday, as experiment day. Talk about sex. Again, it can be difficult for couples to talk about sex, but it is essential, reminds Gasparoni. The goal is to be open and vulnerable when you talk about sex and your needs. The same way you check in with your emotional needs, Schedule a time to talk about your sexual needs. It may feel uncomfortable, but try to talk about what feels good and what doesn't, and if you're having enough sex, and the right kind. If you don't have sex, you can become companions, she says. You started off as lovers, and you want to end as lovers, but that takes work. Financial and long-term goals. If you are in a committed relationship, you are building a life with someone. It's important to have financial goals and long-term goals that point you in the direction of where you are going. You should have a lifestyle goal you are working toward and figure out how you are going to get there and how both parties are going to contribute, says Gasparoni. Here are some goals to discuss as a couple. Stick to a budget. Regardless of your financial situation, it is important for both partners to be on the same page about how much they are spending. For many couples, that means having a clear budget that dictates how much they will spend, what amount they will save, and what amount they will invest in. Being on the same page with your finances will mean not only avoiding financial fights down the road, but having the money set aside down the road for the life you want. Buy a dream home. Every couple should be working toward living together in a home they love. After all, that is where you spend most of your time together. Whether it's an apartment in a city or a home in the suburbs, decide what your future home looks like and create a plan for how to get there financially. It's also important to think through not just what type of home you want now but in the future, encourages Gasparoni. Where do you see yourselves in the second half? She asks. The kids are gone. What is your fantasy? What is the goal? Do we continue to live in a city or this house? Do we move to Paris? Your goals will change over time, and you want to be able to talk about it. Raise children. If you want children as a couple, it's important to start preparing for that well in advance, both financially and emotionally. How will you save money to be able to give your children a certain lifestyle? When will you start trying for kids? What is your plan if you run into fertility issues? If you want to have a kid, that is a big conversation and goal, says Gasparoni. But you need to also talk about all the steps it takes to have and raise the kid. Make time to play. Gasparoni says it is essential that couples set aside money and time to have fun with one another. You need to plan time for dinners and vacations where you can be alone together, she encourages. When you are discussing your financial goals, take into account the money you will need to have fun with one another, especially once you have children. Decide what is important to you. Do you want to have a date night once a week or a mini vacation every quarter? And stick to that goal.